morning, Friday, December 17th. We are whistle stopping our way right into Christmas holiday week here in the U.S. Welcome and Merry Christmas. Happy holidays to you, however you celebrate this time of year. Um, it's always warm and fuzzy, right? It's really warm, and I don't know about fuzzy, but it's really warm here in Southwest Virginia. We are having 3 days of unseasonably warm, like, what's going on? It was like in the 40s and 50s, 3 days in the 60s. Yesterday actually made it into the 70s. Today, I think, is about the same thing, maybe tomorrow even, and then Sunday, it's the bottom falls back out. We had 3 days of global warming, I guess. I don't know what I don't understand half this stuff. Well, good morning. And so I have a little thing. This is about business today. How to go out of business $13 at a time. There you go. That's what the subject is about today. So I had an experience where there's a little takeout restaurant not even a half mile from my house. I love their food. I've gotten to know the owner over the last 2 years that I've lived here. I just call her and say, "Hey, Bonnie, this is great," and she repeats my order that she already knows, and that's really cool. That's great customer service. But for some reason, they just don't always have their phone on. Now, I get the feeling that they use a cell phone for their business, which why not? I mean, it's a phone. However, they don't always answer the phone. I don't know if it gets sat down in the storeroom. I don't know what happened. And so it was Tuesday, and it was about 1:15, and I was getting a little hungry, and I wanted some sesame chicken. So I called. Phone rang all the way through to voicemail, and it's just the standard stock voicemail you get with a phone. There's no, "Thanks for calling my restaurant. I'm sorry I couldn't get to the phone. Leave your order. I'll call you right back. Go fly a kite." Nothing. So I didn't leave a message. And just for what it's worth, I have in the past and it didn't work. So I waited about 7, 8, 10 minutes, figuring that, if maybe she was on another call, whatever. Called back. No answer. All right, well, I've got other food in the house, and I just went ahead and fixed something. And so Wednesday, I again was hungry for some sesame chicken. And so I called again. Same thing. No answer. So I got on search engine and I found a little place that's about 7, 8 minutes from here, about 5 miles away. No big deal. And I've been wanting to try it anyhow. It's another Chinese restaurant. Called them. And so the thing over here is that at this Chinese restaurant, they have, honest to goodness, what appear to me authentic Chinese people. Sorry, this is weird that I go this direction. I don't know what else to say. And they're very hard to understand. Please understand, I just totally am amazed by anybody that speaks more than one language, even if the other one is poor. But I think there is a level of, if you're going to be in business in that language, you should be able to communicate well. Anyhow, finally got my order placed, and the gentleman that was the older person that spoke really bad English put probably well, who knows, a younger person on the phone that got my order. It was still a little rough, but drove over, and as I drove past the other restaurant, Bonnie's car is there and the open sign is on. Now, this is the place that I called and got no answer. I don't know what open means to you, but open means to me that when you're in a traditionally takeout business, there are no seats anymore since COVID. The only way you can eat at that restaurant is to not eat there, to order out. So the phone, unless you want to walk in the front door and wait 15 minutes to your order, the phone is what keeps them in business. It was only a $13 order. My question is, how long didn't they answer the phone that day, and how many $13 orders did they miss? So the title of today's thing is how you go out of business $13 at a time. It doesn't take long for a business to lose traction. They survived COVID when a lot of restaurants didn't. It's probably a family-run business. I think most of that type restaurant are. But they gave me an opportunity to go look at another restaurant, to go try another restaurant. Luckily for them, the other restaurant was marginally okay. The food was it wasn't bad, but it certainly didn't make me think, well, that's where I'm getting my sesame chicken from now on. But it did make me think, why is this other place not doing stuff to keep them in business? Because that's what we're all about. Those of us that own a small business, and quite frankly, any business, but especially small businesses, every day, every phone call, every website visit, every tweet, every Instagram post is an opportunity to get business. Every response from a customer is an opportunity to get business. And especially when the phone rings, for goodness sakes, especially those of you that work mainly by email. Are you answering your email? How many $13, $130, $1,300, whatever you want to make up, how many orders have you missed because you were late? You didn't answer questions. You were difficult to work with. You answered questions that weren't asked. I've got a whole thing on that for next week. $13 at a time. I once did a survey. I was in the restaurant business 10 years, and this is back in the mid 80s, I don't know, somewhere in there. And I did a survey at the restaurant I was at, places I could buy food in a 1 mile radius. Now, this was in a traditional shopping area. There was 130 places I could buy food as ready to eat now. Now, my restaurant was a sit-down restaurant, but just as easily, you could be going down the street today and decide to stop in at the gas station and get a hot dog because you're in a hurry. You could decide that since you're already at the grocery store to get that hot food that's on their takeout bar. That is competition, because you could decide to eat there as opposed at my restaurant. And so what we wondered was, you know, the thing where you say, where are you going to go eat today for lunch? Like if I'm inviting you out for lunch, I think I've done this before, but where do you want to go eat? What's your answer? I don't know. First of all, I always wanted to start a restaurant called I Don't Know, because then we'd have it covered, right? Anyhow, I don't know. Where you want to go? I don't know. And so 5 minutes later, you finally decide, well, you want to go to, Bill's Seafood Shack? Sure, why not? That sounds great to me. In making that decision, you also left out 130 other restaurants or places to eat. I always told my staff, we will operate this restaurant every day with food quality, with service, etc., in a way that no one will ever decide not to eat here. Theoretically, it's possible for every client, every customer you have today to decide to do business somewhere else, especially in the restaurant business. But there's other website designers, there's other voiceover artists, there's other places to buy, and if you make it 1% difficult, why shouldn't they go there? I hope I'm doing all my right stuff. I hope I am working in such a way that no one ever leaves me a whole day, week, month, whatever period of time without using my business, because that's what it's all about. It's probably more predominant in the restaurant industry because you want variety, and most of the other stuff we buy, we don't want variety. We want to buy somewhere that we know is solid, and we're going to get the same thing every time. But when I want Chinese food, I want the Chinese sesame chicken that I get up here the way it tastes because I love it. I don't want to struggle to give them business. There, I've said it. Don't go out of business $13 at a time. Think of how your processes work and think of what you can do to make it better. Because if you're not making it better, are you lacking and lagging and going the wrong direction? I've really looked at a lot of that this week myself because that was such a strong experience for me, and I've got another one to talk about next week about a great way to go out of business. So anyhow, that's your business lesson for the week. That is my wrap up for Friday. Have a great weekend. I hope you have a wonderful holiday season, however you choose to celebrate. Talk to you Monday.